Welcome to the Fundamentals of ISO 9001 eCourse. I'm Greg Peckford, founder of QualityCareerAdvancement.com, and my goal is to help professionals and organizations elevate their careers or improve business performance through the use of quality management. In this eCourse, you will learn the purpose of ISO 9000, as well as the benefit that this knowledge can have on your business, organization, and your career. We will discuss the 8 fundamental quality management principles, along with the 6 required procedures of the ISO 9000 standard. We will go through the ISO 9001 standard clause by clause in detail, so that you will walk away with a solid understanding of this widely utilized and diverse quality management system criteria, which will allow you to not only improve business performance, but also increase your professional value and diversify your career potential. One of the key decisions I made earlier in my career, one that has helped me to advance my career faster than I could have imagined, was learning the ISO 9000 group of standards and developing that knowledge into a thriving career in quality management. While I was working in aviation, I attended a quality management training course delivered by a very respected quality training group that has worked extensively with NASA over the years. I had the opportunity to speak to the instructor after the course was completed, and I asked him what he felt would be most beneficial to my career. A focus on increasing my knowledge and qualifications in an aviation-specific standard, or ISO. His advice was a true turning point in my career. He advised that if I wanted to have a truly diverse career and not be pinned to a specific industry, I should strongly consider following the ISO 9000 route, as this would give me the most diversity in my professional future. You don't have to be a quality management professional or an auditor to take advantage of the information contained within this eCourse. ISO 9000 can help to improve your own company's processes from any level, whether you're the CEO or a department manager. ISO can provide you with valuable tools to make you a better decision maker within your organization. For me, becoming proficient in the ISO standard has allowed me to progress my career not only as a quality management professional, but also as a corporate and project-level manager in multiple industries. ISO allowed me to expand on the valuable technical knowledge I had developed throughout my career and adapt those skills to any situation. So just what are the ISO 9000 series of standards? And what are the benefits of incorporating these guidelines into your business or professional toolkit? ISO 9000 is a set of globally recognized standards for quality management. The standards are purposely generic in nature, as they are meant to apply to any industry or organization, regardless of size, product, or service offered. So basically, if you understand the principles of the ISO 9000 standard, you should be able to apply those concepts to any business. Many people see ISO 9000 as a manufacturing standard, but it is much more than that and can be implemented in any product or service-based business. This diversity will be highlighted more clearly in the upcoming revision. So why is ISO important? What are the benefits for businesses to implement these standards and for individuals to learn and become proficient in this knowledge? ISO standards provide businesses with a valuable toolkit to not only improve quality, but to increase efficiency and productivity in their processes. It provides a guideline to enhance customer satisfaction and in turn increase sales and profitability. For the individual, proficiency in the ISO standard can provide a skill set to help your organization implement strategies to reach these desired goals and advance your professional value. I think it's pretty clear that if you are able to provide valuable input and improve your organization's processes and help them become more effective, then your career can only prosper. As a quality professional, you open up a world of career possibilities. As the ISO standard is generic and has no industry or geographical boundaries, the possibilities are endless. As I mentioned earlier, ISO is a global standard. In fact, according to ISO.org, ISO 9001-2008 has currently been implemented by over 1 million companies and organizations in over 170 countries. While certification to the ISO 9001 standard is very beneficial to an organization, it is not required, and many businesses follow the standard in their operating and quality procedures without gaining certification. It is entirely up to the organization to determine the level of implementation they wish to pursue. The same can be said for personal certification as an auditor. An internal auditor would certainly benefit from gaining the credentials in the ISO standard, but is not required to have ISO auditor certification to be effective. So we touched earlier on what the ISO 9000 series of standards are as a whole. Now I would like to go into the individual standards that make up the 9000 family, and how they can be used as an integrated set for maximum effectiveness. ISO 9000 covers the basic concepts and language used in the standard by providing the terms and definitions found throughout the standard. ISO 9001 sets out the requirements of a quality management system and is the only standard in the ISO 9000 family that can be certified or audited to. ISO 9001 is the main document and contains the 8 relevant clauses that make up the standard's criteria, and is what we will focus on in the majority of this eCourse. Keep in mind that ISO 9001 is a generic standard and is not intended to dictate how a business is to be run. Implementation is up to the organization and based largely on the company's scope of business. What's important is that the requirements are met in order to obtain certification or to effectively benefit from its implementation. ISO 9004 provides guidance over and above the requirements included in ISO 9001, and also contains guidelines for self-assessment and is not intended for certification purposes. ISO 9004 focuses more on increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of a quality management system. ISO 19011 provides a guideline for conducting and managing internal and external audits of a quality management system. This is a great resource for anyone involved in the audit process. ISO 9000 is based on 8 quality management principles, which are defined in ISO 9000 and ISO 9004, and are intended to provide senior management with a framework for improving performance within the organization. Let's take a look at each one of those principles right now. The first quality management principle is customer focus, and it maintains that organizations should understand current and future customer needs and requirements and always strive to exceed expectations. I think it goes without saying that if you can focus on the customer's needs and constantly find ways to improve how you deliver on those needs, you will see increased revenue and repeat business. The second principle is leadership. We all know that strong leadership is key in the success of any business. Leaders in an organization set the direction and create an environment for people to buy in and get involved to be motivated in achieving established organizational objectives. This promotes unity and effective communication. The next quality management principle is involvement of people, and this ties in with the previous principle, which was leadership. Leaders set the tone, but the benefits are truly apparent when you have full involvement of the people at all levels of the organization. Having this involvement promotes innovation, creativity, and accountability, among other benefits. The fourth principle is a process approach. We will discuss this in more detail coming up, but by managing resources and activities as a process, a desired outcome can be obtained far more efficiently and effectively while improving cost and achieving predictable and consistent results. The fifth quality management principle is a system approach to management. contributing to the effectiveness of an organization by identifying, understanding, and managing a system of interrelated processes for a given objective and provide alignment, integration, and focus on key processes. Next, we have continual improvement, which unfortunately is highly overlooked by many organizations, but should be a high focus area and a constant objective for improvement of all levels of organizational performance. The seventh quality management principle is a key element of effective management, and that is factual approach to decision making. Making informed fact-based decisions through careful analysis that can be backed up with data and available information. And the final quality management principle that forms the basis of the ISO 9000 group of standards is mutually beneficial supplier relationships. Realizing that the organization and its suppliers must have an interdependent relationship that promotes value. Both have a stake in the game and must work together to achieve consistent and yet flexible results to create value for both parties. So these are the 8 principles for quality management that structure the ISO 9000 family of standards. And although these are not auditable requirements, it is wise that an organization build off of these principles when developing a quality management system. So now let's look at the 6 required procedures that every business should have in place and documented as part of a quality management system that is based on the ISO 9001 standard. If an organization has or wishes to be certified to the ISO 9001 standard, then these 6 procedures are a requirement and must be documented and available at point of use. Any additional procedures are up to the organization. Management must determine what further documentation is required for the quality management system to function effectively. The 6 required procedures are as follows: control of documents, control of records, internal audit, control of non-conforming product, corrective action, and preventive action. Each of these topics will be covered in more detail as we discuss each ISO 9001 clause later in the course. ISO 9001 expects organizations to adopt a process approach and asks top management to exercise leadership by promoting an awareness of this approach. But what exactly does this mean? A process is an activity or set of activities that uses resources and is managed in order to enable the transformation of inputs into outputs. The process approach is a management strategy. When management chooses to implement a process approach, it means that they manage and control the processes that make up their organizations, the interactions between these processes, and the inputs and outputs that tie these processes together. It also means that they manage these process interactions as a system. When this approach is applied to quality management, it means that they manage processes and process interactions as a coherent, process-based quality management system. It is essential that processes be monitored and measured for effectiveness throughout all stages. In addition, ISO recommends applying the PDCA, or Plan, Do, Check, Act methodology in the development of a quality management system and its processes. This methodology provides a repeating cycle of action and monitoring that promotes continuous improvement and effective process management. The 4-step cycle consists of the following: planning your objectives, activities, and resources necessary to develop effective processes that will meet requirements. Do what you planned in the previous step and implement the processes. Check or monitor the processes for effectiveness against established requirements and record the results. Act on the data collected while monitoring the process and make the required adjustments to continually improve the process. Continue to repeat this cycle to maintain process effectiveness as business needs change. So that concludes Module 1 of the ISO 9001 Fundamentals eCourse. I hope you're enjoying the content so far. In the next module, Module 2, we will get into the nuts and bolts of the ISO 9001 standard and look at clauses 1 through 6 in detail. See you in the next video.